What's up, Flick Connection? This is Darren, and today I'm going to give you 20 awesome guy flicks currently available on Amazon Prime. I do top 10 lists like this all the time, so be sure to subscribe if you like good movie recommendations every single week. Just click that subscribe button and click the little bell so you always get notifications. I put up at least one huge list a week. This is a massive one with 20. Because it's 20, I'm not going to spend too much time on each one. Just a little tidbit about each one so you can decide whether or not it's for you. But here we go with the list of 20 awesome guy flicks currently available on Amazon. Brawl in Cell Block 99 is one of my favorite movies of 2017. Vince Vaughn is surprisingly good in this. He's just a beast in this movie. It's a cool prison movie. It's pretty straightforward. And then it starts to go down this weird rabbit hole that just is really well done. I watched it. I paid to watch it on streaming, and then I immediately watched it again the next night. I liked it that much. So this is one of the stronger recommendations on this list if you haven't seen it. 13 Hours is currently available on Prime. This is one of the better modern warfare flicks. If you like movies like that, I also have another list you could check out. But this one was done by Michael Bay on a fairly small budget for Michael Bay. But he did an incredible job. It's got an R rating, so the violence is very realistic. Because of the political climate when it came out, it really kind of got overlooked, which I think is a shame because it's a really solid movie. So political leanings aside, I highly recommend watching this one. As far as films go, it's really one of Michael Bay's best works. I'm going to cheat a little bit here when it comes to the 20 because I'm counting 3 of these as the full Indiana Jones series with Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and The Last Crusade. They're all available on Amazon. Love these movies. They're incredible to watch. If it's been a long time since you've seen them, watch them again because I guarantee you do not remember how good these movies are. Allied is another one that got overlooked this past year, and it stars Brad Pitt and Marion Cotillard, which I have trouble saying her name, but it's essentially a really cool World War II spy movie. It's really well done, and I put this as a guy movie. Even though you can definitely watch it as a couple, in fact I'd almost recommend it, but it really shows the struggle of a husband who's been put in a position where he is no longer able to trust his wife, even though he desperately wants to. So if you missed this one, I really recommend it, especially if you really like kind of World War II movies or sort of this sort of spy era. Sicario. Everybody saw this one. It's been on Amazon Prime for a long time, but I have to recommend it. Denis Villeneuve, who did Blade Runner 2049, did it. He also did Arrival immediately after Sicario. Sicario 2 comes out this summer. It looks like a balls-to-the-wall action movie. The original one is not, but it has some incredibly well-crafted action tension sequences. Just a really good law enforcement sort of crime, drug, underworld type of movie. Just really well done. Shot Caller might be one you have not heard of, but you might recognize Jamie Lannister actually stars in this movie, and this is a pretty solid little prison movie. It's not perfect. It's actually got a lot of flaws, which might be why you haven't heard of it, but you should definitely check this movie out, particularly if you love sort of the gangland or prison movie genre. This one really revolves around both, and it's got some unexpected plot twists in it, and I liked it. It's gritty, it feels pretty real. The story might be a little bit far-fetched, but this was a surprise for me considering it's not one I really hear anybody talking about. The Infiltrator with Bryan Cranston is a fantastic movie, particularly if you liked Narcos on Netflix. You will like this movie. It's about an undercover agent digging deep into the Pablo Escobar drug trade, and it's a true story. It's got a lot of those undercover sequences in it. Bryan Cranston's fantastic. The production design's pretty good on this. It's a good little movie that a lot of people miss because it didn't get a wide release, but it's still great drug movie, great cop movie. Really like this one. As far as other cop movies go, 999 actually takes place in Atlanta, which is where I'm from, so I might be a little partial to this one, but this one was actually directed by John Hillcoat, who did The Proposition and The Road and Lawless, all movies that I liked, and this one really got panned critically, but I went into it with really low expectations because it was panned so bad, and I liked it a lot. It's got a cool bank heist at the beginning. Norman Reedus is in it. Everybody loves him. So it's got some cool elements to it. It just sort of flounders a little bit, but if you like this genre, you may have missed this one, and you definitely should watch it. Black Hawk Down, just a classic war movie, one of my favorites. Ridley Scott, this is really him at his best. He does have better movies, but this one is just so expertly directed. I really love everything about this movie. I've mentioned it on this channel before, and just talking about it, I want to watch it again. Here I am talking about it again. I'm going to want to watch it again. It's long, but man, is it good. Just like Indiana Jones, this is another one. If you haven't seen it in a while, watch it because you probably forgot how good this movie is. Boondock Saints is currently available on Amazon. I like this movie. It's not particularly well done. It's done by a first-time, inexperienced director, though, and he killed it. When you look at it from that perspective, he killed it. This is just a cult classic with just some really beloved scenes. I don't want to say they're good, but people just love this movie, and for good reason. It is just, it's got like a spark to it. It's got a little bit of magic to it. But if you're in the mood for a guy movie and you somehow miss this one, even though it's one everybody has seen, you gotta watch it soon, and you gotta watch it understanding how it was made. Crank 2, I think, is just a testosterone-filled movie. Don't have super high expectations for this one, but it is super cool. Like, it goes in really weird directions, so it's not a really good, well-rounded movie. It really just owns the weird direction it goes in, which really makes it one of Jason Statham's better movies, in my opinion. Not his best, but it's up there, and if you really just want like an adrenaline-fueled movie that's better than most of the Fast and the Furious movies, this is one to watch. Total Recall, I'm talking about the classic with Schwarzenegger, not the remake with Colin Farrell. Nothing against Colin Farrell, but that movie was a freaking dud. Watch the original. The special effects are fantastic. Award-nominated, movie in terms of special effects. The storyline is really cool. It's a fun movie from beginning to end, just like Black Hawk Down. Talking about it, I need to watch it again. It's been too long since I watched Total Recall last. Gone in 60 Seconds. Again, I'm talking about the original, not the remake with Nicolas Cage. The original is super cool for one reason. If you love car movies, if you feel like you're a car guy and you never saw the original Gone in 60 Seconds, as soon as this video is over, turn off YouTube, go to Amazon Prime, watch Gone in 60 Seconds. This movie was done on a personal budget. The main star of the movie directed it, wrote it, produced it, paid to get it put into theaters, and the last 45 minutes, so the entire last half of this movie, is one long car chase in a beautiful, well, it starts off as a beautiful banana yellow Mustang. This movie is just so cool, but you have to understand that it was made completely independently. They're going out there shutting down streets illegally to film this thing. When you watch it, knowing that, this movie is just incredible, and it is a must-see. If you're a car guy, you have to watch this movie. JCVD, which stands for Jean-Claude Van Damme, is actually a really cool movie about masculinity, and it stars Jean-Claude Van Damme playing himself, and he actually catches himself in the middle of a bank heist, and he becomes a hostage as just a movie star. Like, he's expected, because he's Jean-Claude Van Damme, to like maybe do something and help these people. It's a real low budget movie, so don't have super high expectations for it, but if you kind of feel like you even like Jean-Claude Van Damme, even if you're not a super fan, you definitely have to check this one out. It's a really cool flick. Creed turned out to be a really cool sequel to Rocky. I think they did a really good job sort of circling back, putting it in modern day, showing us a flawed character that has to sort of fight some of his own demons, including, the fight in the ring. All that sounds really cliched, and it is, but Creed did a knockout job really delivering and making it work. Basically meaning, even though it does a lot of cliche things, it does them really well, and it's just a solid flick. Reservoir Dogs, Tarantino's directorial debut, and one of his best. This is just a macho movie. It had to make the list. Everyone's seen it. It's probably the most watched movie on this list, but for good reason. It's completely solid, and just like some of the other ones I recommended on a low budget, this one was done on a super low budget. Some of the actors are wearing their own clothes. Even though they're mostly wearing black suits, you can even see Steve Buscemi's actually wearing black denim jeans because the suits they had made, his pants didn't fit. So this is super low budget, and the story told is just so perfectly executed. Bone Tomahawk is actually written and directed by the same guy who did Brawl and Cell Block 99, my first recommendation. This is a macho movie. Now, it takes a little time getting into it, but Kurt Russell's in it, and man, it's got some of the manliest imagery towards the end of this movie I've ever seen. I don't want to give anything away, but it's basically a Western, but it's unique because some people are getting picked off by what's potentially a cannibalistic tribe, and so it definitely is different from any Western you've seen. But if you like Westerns, or you like Brawl and Cell Block 99, or you like Kurt Russell, or you like gritty, manly movies, you like mustaches, watch Bone Tomahawk. The Lost City of Z is actually an Amazon original movie starring Charlie Hunnam, and it's about an explorer exploring the deep reaches of the Amazon River, where he believes he's found a lost civilization. It's a true story. It's a masculine story. We don't really get these true explorer type movies that often, but when they're done, man, they're exciting and they're just interesting, and it's kind of like Indiana Jones, but it's a little subdued because it's based on real life. But this was really well done. It's got a little bit of a slow pace to it, and it's kind of long, but if you want to watch something that feels like a classic movie that's in this genre of the real life explorer, this is the one to watch. And finally, one of the most macho movies ever made is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's currently available on Amazon Prime. I'm sure most of you have watched it. If somehow you haven't watched it, this is the one to watch before you watch any of the other recommendations I made on the list. So there's the list. I hope you liked it. I hope you find some movies to watch on Amazon Prime. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you'll be watching. I definitely read the comments, and I'll probably even respond to you. So thanks for watching, and you will see me next time.